Bill, I'm smiling ear to ear because that's something we're all waiting for because, hey, we have been dealing with this Arctic blast and it has caused some delays. Now, one of those is the popular Polar Plunge. Now, the good news is it is not canceled. It's just pushed back until later on this month. Now, I spoke to Luke Schulte from Special Olympics Kansas for the latest on this Take 5 to Care event. Can you please tell us a little bit about why the event was postponed?
While the Polar Plunge is meant to be in cold weather, nothing prepared us for that level of cold that we experienced over the weekend. It was just too cold for our volunteers. The plungers would have been fine. We have warming tents for them, so they would have been able to warm up inside the tent before the plunge, warm up after the plunge. But it was our volunteers and other staff that were going to be there that it was just too bitterly cold.
So what are some of the precautionary measures that have been taken to ensure warmth?
Sure. As I mentioned before, we do have warming tents, so the plungers are able to go in and out before and after the Polar Plunge. We've also taken precautions as far as COVID goes. We're plunging in waves this year, so that way no more than 25 people are on the beach at a time. And so basically every half hour, another 25 people show up, register, they take the plunge, they warm up, they leave, and as they leave, another group comes in. So really it was just an overabundance of caution and trying to make sure that everybody was safe, not only from warmth, but also COVID restrictions as well.
All right, and people who may not be familiar with the Polar Plunge or with what Special Olympics Kansas does, can you give us some insight into that?
Yeah, so as you mentioned before, the Polar Plunge is our largest fundraiser of the year. Here in Kansas, we expect to raise about $250,000 from the Polar Plunge. We love our wild and zany plungers that go out there and raise the money and want to take the plunge. I know there were several disappointed people this past weekend that weren't able to do it because it would have been an awesome photo op for them. But really, like I said, the safety is our primary concern. And so all the money that's raised from the Polar Plunge and those plungers and those believers in our mission go to sponsor the 5,000 athletes that we have across the state of Kansas that compete regularly in 21 different year-round sports.
And now that you just said wild, zany people, hey, sign me up, I am ready to go. You know, what if anybody else who's listening to this, they want to register for the event? How can we do that?
It's definitely not too late. We're hoping that the extra 2 weeks allows people to really go out and fundraise, and then those that want to do the Polar Plunge register.
Okay, and that delay, it just means there's more time to register, more time to raise money.
That's right.
Take 5 to Care and take part in this year's Polar Plunge benefiting the Special Olympics of Kansas. Now it's been moved to Saturday, February 27th, and it's at Shawnee Mission Park Lake. Registration kicks off at 9 in the morning with events leading up to the plunge beginning at 11. Now for more info, just go to KSTV5.com.